put in your meter number. It's not generic. The KCTs are specific, just the way you have your account numbers, specific to your meter number. So once you go to our website, for instance, you say you want to generate TID token, right? You impute your meter number, and by default, if your KCT has been generated, because it's being done in batches, it will bring out your KCT 2020, and it's almost unbelievable. People are like, I don't upgrade my meter. Is it that easy? And it's that seamless. It's free of charge. Of course, there are also people that will say, I beg, I don't want to go to your website. If you walk into any of our offices, if you tell me right now, if a customer calls in right now, Madam, I need my KCT, I will give it to you right here because it's seamless. It's on our Ibinabo. We launched our Ibinabo, our AI, where people can just WhatsApp.
Why did you pick Ibinabo, the name?
You like Ibinabo, right?
Yes, of course. I've seen the movie.
Beautiful rivers woman.
Any woman with the name Ibinabo, of course, beautiful.
Of course, yes. Ibinabo is a bringer of good tidings. And over a long period of time, people on PHED, they are selling darkness. We're not selling darkness. We're bringers of light and all of that. So we chose that name to tell people that we're here to serve. We're here to partner with the people. And at the end of this conversation today, people will have a better understanding. So please, if you're out there and you don't have the ability to recharge, kindly upgrade your meter by getting your KCT. You can even chat with us on our hotlines. You can go to Ibinabo. You can go to, and at worst,
Ibinabo is an app anybody can download and
on WhatsApp, right? Okay. And there's a phone number to that. In fact, we share it before the end of this conversation. It's seamless, and the worst case scenario.
Why can't I recharge my meter? And then now that they know that it's a meter upgrade, and that's the reason why you might have been facing that. So if you haven't, then now you know how to do it.
Website, calling our hotlines. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We're there 247 to attend to you.
All right, Chukwumwa, quickly, if you can take it from there and explain more about the billing and there's something that said that was interesting. Why I buy 1,000, another person buys 1,000, and then regardless of the utilities we have in the house, my own they finish first. Is there a reason why that happens?
Yeah, there is. Just like petrol or what is generally known as premium motor spirit is measured and sold in liters. Electricity consumption is equally measured and sold in what we call kilowatt hour. Now the tariff is the unit cost of electricity consumption. Now let's see the tariff as the unit cost of petrol. Now this tariff is not generic for all customers. NEC in their own wisdom came up with what was termed incentive-based tariff.
Sorry to interrupt you. So we get better. So just like we have with the petrol situation, since we're using that logic, where not every filling station sells at the same price. For whatever reason, everybody has like different price per liter for petrol. You're saying same thing now applies with per kilowatts for power. You have like a different billing system for kilowatt.
The same billing system, but different rating based on what was bands. Now we have what we call feeders. The feeders have different bands. We have 5 bands in all. We have band A, people that are premium customers that get up to 20 hours of supply availability.
So our online they finish fast pass.
Yes,
of course.
Because
you use
light. Why?
Well, let him explain it.
So, because we give you more supply, we serve you 20 hours per day. The people on band B get 16 hours average. The people on band C get 12 hours. Band D 8 hours. Then band E, which is the least band, gets a minimum of 4 hours.
So what is behind the finish?
Now the tariff for the band A has the highest tariff of 72 naira 64 kobo. While for band E, they have a tariff of 34 naira 44 kobo. So the implication of that, just like the same analogy with the filling stations. Now, the man who is on band A, when he goes to buy electricity, he buys at a higher cost than the man on band D. Thereby having higher, the man on band E has higher units. So he's only
technically because of the price difference.
Because of the pricing.
Because he gets lower hours, so his unit cost is cheaper, even if he's paying for the same price.
Yeah, that's on the one side. Now the second factor is the utilization.
That's right.
Our load profiling is not the same. we could be staying in the same apartment, but I have 2 horsepower AC, while the other man is okay with a fan. So the consumption of the AC is way higher than the consumption of a fan. So 2 things we have said here. The pricing. Our customers need to know that we don't have the same pricing for all of them.
So does that answer the question of there's been no increase in the price of purchasing power? Because that became a conversation. In fact, if you had followed on the news, it's something we came across. I had to bring that, find it, and okay, yes, the president stopping electricity tariff hike, insisting on subsidy, and many people saying, oh, there was one time the rumors were spreading that we're going to see a hike. Okay, all right, that there was going to be a hike in the tariff, and everybody started going back and forth.
Exactly.
So from what is explained, does that mean that did not happen, or we don't have that?
That did not happen, and we addressed it as a thing. There were lots of speculations. Let's make it technical. We have under the NEC rules and regulations what we call the MITO, multi-year tariff order, which allows for increment every 6 months. Okay. So because the 6 months was expiring in June to July, the people that know about electricity assumed that it was going to happen, but the government and the regulators in their wisdom did not allow that to happen.
Okay.
So it didn't happen, but there were a lot of rumors, speculations. There was no tariff increase, and there has been no tariff increase so far.
All right, well said.
It may happen, but for now it has not happened. So we need to clear that.
Okay.
All right.
Chukwumwa, so yes, you if you can finish with that explanation about the billing system. Okay. Does that answer it? Does that answer the whole how it works? Because there's also the questions about bill formulation and inherited bill.
Okay.
Now, inherited bill is a major one because I come into a house I don't know.
Okay.
I've not used anything, and I want to stay, and then I pay for the house, and then somebody's telling me that they're owing so amount to, and I'm recharging my meter, and I'm not getting. Some people say they don't get the worth. Perhaps it's a deduction that happens or something. If you can explain how this thing works for us, why in the first place somebody lived there and accumulated the debt, and then you people did not collect your money, and now another person has to pay for it?
Okay, so let me start with the bill computation or the bill formulation, because that is where everything starts. Now, the business of power starts from the generation end. For us to understand bill formulation or bill computation, it was the value chain. We have the generation stations that generates power through the transmission lines. We are at the end of this chain. We generate, we transmit. Our business is distribution. Now, at the trade-off point, at the boundary, there are meters. And at the end of every month, our billing cycle is monthly. At the end of every month, our engineers work with the market operators to determine the quantity of energy that has entered into PHED franchise area. Now, at the end of the month, that particular quantum of energy is now given for the billing purpose. So we do not fabricate energy. So the energy is gotten from the grid. Now, this energy that is gotten from the grid is now cascaded down to the customers. Now, in terms of the billing, each bill that is given to a customer has 3 components. The first component of the bill is the energy consumption. That is the only one that the DISCO determines. The second component of the bill is the tariff. Tariff is determined by our regulators. The third component of the bill is the VAT component of the bill. Now, for the tariff, as of 2013, during the privatization, our average tariff was 21 naira 4 kobo. Fast forward to today, our average tariff is 61 naira, representing a 183% increment.
From 2013.
Because
from 2013.
Is that does that have to do with the economic situation, or
exactly? What actually determines this tariff is the macro and the macroeconomic indicators, like the exchange rate, the interest rate, the cost of generation, the gas cost, the CapEx, and all of this. But
the gas cost would it affect you when you do not generate?
Of course.
We expect it to affect Gencos. Okay.
We buy from them.
And they sell putting that price on it.
Exactly. We buy.
The implication of that is
All right, Mr. Chukwumwa. We'll continue this. Let's take a commercial. Just hold on.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
Oh, they don't
I have look I to Attah. The corporate communications and then in the studio motivation cost in your area. I'm sure you've been following the conversation and you're learning a thing or two. If you haven't been following, you can pick whenever you work. You download Nigerian from the Google or the store and you have unlimited data. The phone line at the moment. The number is 0809-030-6416. We'll be taking some of the comments you sent in and questions. We also know that you have quite a number of comments already on Facebook that we'll be attending to. Not to worry, but before we get into all of those details, let me quickly trying to you're telling us about you've established the bans, you've established what influences the cost. You talked about gas supply and the dollar exchange rates, etc. Are there other things that we need to know?
Yeah. Finally, what constitutes the bill? Like we were trying to discuss before the commercials, we said that each bill has three components, which is the energy consumption. The content of the bill is tariff, and the other one is the component. Now, the control is the energy consumption. Not necessarily that we have control, we determine it. Now, the tariff from 2013, it has had a 183% increment. Now, the VAT, like we know, was also increased from 5% to 7.5%, indicating a 33% increment. So the implication of this is that even if your consumption has not improved, your bill is higher. Let's say consume 100 units.
You still see an increase in your bill based on the other factors, which the VAT and tariff and other economic implications.
To be more realistic, let's assume your consumption is 100 units. When the average tariff was 21 naira, your average bill will be roughly 2,200. Fast forward to today, when the average tariff is now 61 naira. Your average bill will now be about 6,552 naira, even if you have not added an extra appliance to your consumption or to your apartment.
But it now brings us to estimated billing. I would like to join Madam now so she explains this to us. Estimated billing. What you've said explains why people said, how NEPA go come my house? Give me this thing. Now I live one small room and they stay with 2 fans and this they say make I come pay 10,000, 8,000 and no fit. And there's that. And it brings people to ask, may they give me meter? Okay. Why don't we have that? What is the reason behind the metering and the availability of meters?
Okay, thank you very much, Andrew. So let me just quickly speak to the issue of meters, because as long as there's no meter in your apartment, you're going to be on estimated billing. You're either having estimated bills or you have a meter. Now, the meter is the only appliance that is able to measure accurately your consumption, and that is why an average person would prefer to have a meter. But let me show you that we also have people out there that do not want to have meters because of the kind of things that they use their consumption. So we've had customers vehemently resisting the installation of meters because the meter, it's a two-way thing. It will always measure your usage. Now, for the customers out there that I've always said that why don't they have free meters? The reality on ground is that, yes, I think it was in 2021, there was a federal government mass metering assisted project where free meters were issued to households over the, across the nation. Meters were distributed to the discos and these were, sent to the various franchise areas. But the truth of this is that the meters were not sufficient. So we've been waiting for the next phase. But NERC, National Electricity Regulatory Commission, came up with the map. That is a situation where the customers can actually pay for meters themselves and get it installed. But the truth is that this money that the customers use are refunded over a period of time.
How?
With tokens. We don't sell anything but electricity. So let me make it simple. If you, Andrew, say, I'm living in this apartment, I don't want estimated billing. I don't want PHED wahala using the normal man's language. You now say you want a meter. We have two types of meters. We have the single phase meters and we have the 3-phase meters. All will depend on the gadgets and the appliances in your household. Because right now, assuming you want a single phase meter, is about 88,000 naira now. It is not free. Let me also quickly point out that PHED does not sell meters. We're in partnership with vendors, approved vendors. That is why
approved by the government.
Approved by the government and of course the disco. Their parameters. So to make it simple, if you, Andrew, walk into any of our PHED offices, you want a meter for your apartment because you don't want to be on estimated billing. Quickly, you will be given a form to fill. On that form, the account details of the metering company, the vendor, will be stated there, and you will go to the bank and make that payment. When you make that payment, you come with what we call a ticket ID, and within 10 working days or less, the meter will be installed. Now, you asked about the refund process. There is a policy in place. Over a period of time, you get a refund. So if the cost of your meter was 88,000 naira, there's a structured, and you can have access to this information if you want it, whereby every time you recharge, a certain percentage
is added to what you pay
to you
until your meter the 88,000 is paid off.
That's it. So I want to appeal to our customers. And
sorry, before you go further, but how would one know that what was added? Because now it becomes, if I go and I buy, say, 1,000 naira, how much units will 1,000 naira give me, and how would I know that something has been added?
That's why a lot of times we don't ask questions, and that is why we're out here. You have a right to know. You can actually ask your service provider, I want to know. It's like a loan repayment. There's a schedule in place. You can make a demand to say that I want to understand how, and it's an agreed process where the customer and the disco will know that this is what we're doing. And a lot of people don't know. And because people don't ask questions, some of these refunds have even taken place. You know the Nigerian thing. Sometimes people even assume it's a mistake. How manage? See what I paid for. I got extra. PHED has made a mistake. And you don't even know that over a period of time, your meter fund that you paid has been fully liquidated. Please, let me quickly address the issue of arrears and inherited bill, because I know a lot of people are out there.
Yeah.
For the time that you were on estimated billing, more often than not, you were not paying your full amount because you assumed that you were being overbilled.
For estimated billing.
Estimated billing. So what has happened for a lot of customers listening to me right now is that a lot of arrears have accrued over a period of time. Ladies and gentlemen listening to me, please, a time has come where you need to do your due diligence, and this is a strong and passionate appeal. Gone are the days where you rent a house just because of the aesthetics. Oh, you like the environment. You now also need to discuss with your landlord or the agent. You need to ask for the history of payment. The reason is simple. In PHED, we don't know the individuals. We have a business relationship with the property. We're not concerned about who stays there. And that is why it's important for you to do your due diligence. If there's an existing meter and you're about to pay for an apartment, insist from the landlord that you want to see the history. Because what has happened in a lot of instances, people are packed out of premises without paying their bills.
But these people that do that, is it that they don't have meters or estimated billing, and how that would, because one would think that if there are meters, there's no way you can get out of it. You would have to have units in there for you to have. Okay,
fine. That's correct. The truth of it is that, remember, I started by saying that before the meter was installed ab initio, arrears that were accrued
during the estimated billing
would have been migrated to the meter.
So would that be the problem of who is consuming? If you come and you say this is what you've estimated that I spent and I paid for it, why then would I have something accrued? Unless I did not pay complete. That would be the only excuse.
Happens.
Then that would also be an issue of checking your staff who was supposed to come to me and get the full amount of money.
For the issue of, in one of our sessions, we're going to be addressing this purely address mechanisms, the channels the customers have to address their issues. But let me just quickly say that what you need to do, if you believe that you are being overbilled, we have what we call a reconciliation process. You do a letter. Most Nigerians and most of us, we don't take the right actions, and no matter the complaint, it's just like when you have your flight ticket cancelled. If you don't follow their refund policy, you can go and call them out. You must fill their forms online. You must indicate the card you use, and you get a refund. If you don't take the necessary steps, nothing will happen. The same thing, if you're convinced as a customer that you have been overbilled, do a letter and make sure it is acknowledged, because sometimes you want to have not your word against my word. Collect your acknowledgement copy, make a complaint. So what we do, we send our marketers to where you stay. And there's something we call load assessment.
Okay.
There's a form to fill and all of that. But the point is just to know that a customer, you have a right to complain. If you feel that you're being overbilled, permit me to say that there are also customers that are underbilled. Yeah. Of course, nobody's going to come and tell you that, I know in my heart that I have 5 ACs, but I don't have a meter. I beg, I'm paying 10,000 naira. I'm very lucky. But nobody's going to come and complain. But if a customer feels that he's being overbilled, please do not keep quiet. We will reconcile your account. Okay. Reconciliation is a simple process. We sit together. We calculate the usage in your house, just like Chooks had hinted earlier on. And based on the tariff and all of the factors, we arrive at what we believe should be your fair bill. Time
don't allow us. There's quite a lot. So I'll just take some questions online. But before I go online, let's open the phone lines. We still have plenty to talk about. Plenty. There is the issue of the federal light and state line and all of those that needs to be addressed. Yes, you might look at it as a joke, but there are people who, whether it's real or not, we need to figure it out.
State line.
And then there is also the talks of your staff who are unprofessional. That's right. That would also need to address. So let's just open the phone lines, take a few calls first, and perhaps we'll wrap up with your response to those. 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. That is the number to call, 0817-923-0007, and then 0817-923-0003. You can call any of those lines and ask your questions, and please try to make it as brief and as short as possible. I don't know what's up with our phone lines, but what's happening? Okay, let's just go on to WhatsApp first and take some of the comments. So this person says, good morning. There's been no power improvement at all, and the government has not been trying to fix it. It's okay. That's from Godswill Matthew. John Sam says, for a Lingbu area, power situation only improve when it's to people. People will say that. And I've also noticed it too, that they are going for us. So, I've also noticed it. You see, like, coincidence. No, we'll investigate it. Ogbonna says, good morning. In Emoha local government, we've not seen power for a long time. Is there a problem there specifically in Emoha local government?
We wouldn't speak to Emoha at this forum. We wouldn't speak to Emoha, but it's something that PHED and Emoha we've been in talks, and hopefully there will be some resolutions in the nearest.
Okay, Nnamdi says Nigerian government should seek power supply outside the grid. We now have alternative sources like the sun, coal, wind, etc. Jones Peace says, I'm saying this with my full chest, no improvement at all. The services have been skeletal. We do not have light once. We do have light once a week. Sometimes we don't have at all. You have to stay. Okay, a Guru Tally, a 2-bedroom flat paying 20k in a Guru Tally. So that's the estimated billing thing again. I would have to come to it. I'm trying to manage the time. Rivers people rise up against high cost of electricity tariff in Rivers State. They've already stated that there's no increase in tariff. Any increase that we've seen is the result of the economic implications and situation at the moment. That is what is reflecting on the tariff, and not an official increase as we would have had every 6 months, if I'm correct.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see if we have any calls coming in yet. Still waiting. 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. On WhatsApp, there are a few questions that we would look at. This one says, hello, Andrew. It is now... Okay, just give that a minute. I'm struggling to get this out. Okay. It says, kindly ask the staff to clarify if individuals, communities, committees can constitute themselves into tasking people to contribute monies before PHED can come and fix facilities. Like, this is situations where transformers have issues. How's that work?
When we have issues with our facilities, it is our job to get those facilities fixed. Now, we are aware that a lot of communities, estates resort to self-help. There are times that people even tamper. I call it tamper with our facilities because there's this belief that it will take time. Of course, we're serving a lot of customers, and under this management, we're doing our best to attend to the needs of our customers as quickly as possible. You have cases where, people want to make money off their people and they raise illegal
So it is not PHED that tells anybody to go and collect money for them.
But the truth is, we are aware that a lot of time people resort to self-help, but that is not because PHED asks people to pay. And if there are even cases where communities want to embark on, there is a laid out procedure for it. Where you come to PHED and say, we want a transformer, we can't wait for you, we will put it, but there must be an agreement, we will refund them over a period of time.
Take Don from Old GRA. Ernest is also on the line from Olubokola, and then we have Charles from Bonny Island. So let's start with Don. Hello, Don. Good morning to you.
Morning, Chief. Just a quick one. I wanted to ask, I bought a fresh meter, brand new meter, registered with my passport and all that. And then, for some reason, the lady who is in charge of the area added 150,000 naira to my bill. So right now, when I recharge, if I recharge 5,000, they deduct, I think they say it's 2080. I've been to your office just once. I've given them time. I wrote a letter to your regional manager, so we reconcile my account because I was not owing anything before that meter was installed. I went back to your office a couple of days ago because I'd given them enough time, more than 4 months, to reconcile that. And I met your guys at Transmadi. They were in a meeting, but because I was furious and I was trying to explain to someone the way, as all professional manner, your staff, if not for one hero whom I've known very well back from when he was in the bank, I would have gone mad that day. Why would I buy a meter and before the meter is installed, you topped up on 150,000 because you claim that I did not give you the money to do the installation yourself? Please,
all right, Don.
Location is behind Mopol 19.
Your location is behind Mopol 19.
I've ever seen.
All right.
Not simply a police officer would act in that manner.
All right, thank you, Don. Let's get on to Ernest in Olubokola. Oh, I already lost that call. Charles is in Bonny Island. Charles, just go straight to the point, please.
Yes. Good morning.
Go on.
I think we can never get it right. In Bonny Island here, we have meters. Once your credit allows, nobody talks to you. You go back and buy a credit. For the fact that you guys are making huge amounts of money, they'll keep on dancing with us. They are prepaid and not paid. And how can on earth somebody will be paying 20,000 naira at light bill? And still, if somebody is telling me that a meter, one phase is 80,000 naira. Because we don't have check and balance, that's why we are suffering all this looting in this country.
All right, Charles, thank you very much. I see if we can squeeze in one more. We're taking only one more call, and that will be because we're already running out of time. We have less than 4 minutes on the clock, and we need to respond to all of these reactions. Alex in Eneka, quickly, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Fantastic, Alex. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. I also want to chip in this. Eneka has this year. We better get for even they have life. I don't know. It's that we be life for like by every like and many of them. And I would ask for the if there was an existing bill, that is what do you call it now? Estimated. I have some outstanding, and when I checked to get these prepaid meters in my facility, what I saw, the figure of the last bill is different from the last bill I paid.
Now you take it like that's the area you're not light for 2 hours.
Somebody's in the group tally. Is the group tally in the band A band, B band, C area, and what could be responsible for why they do not have the yes, because now bedroom apartment.
Also have to pay 1,000 naira. Both of us can stay 2-bedroom apartments, but with different kinds of facilities. Do you know that some people have ice block factories right there in their houses? Rooms?
All right.
Yeah.
Because time will not allow us.
That's
just
right.
tell us federal and light. What is the secret behind this, please? In 3 seconds.
All right.
Okay. So there's nothing like local fees. Now for the 10 fees, it depends on the band. What we call federal are through that band 8 AV fees.
Unfortunately, time is already spent, but thank you for that answer. We have to wrap it up here. Hello, Port Harcourt.
On waves and achieving remarkable success in training.